All right, everyone, welcome to the How to Start a Campus Kitchen info session. My name is Matt Schnarr, and I'm the Community Development Coordinator here at the Campus Kitchens Project. So during this presentation, we're going to first just briefly learn about what exactly a campus kitchen is, and then as well as what they typically do. And then we're going to learn about how to start a campus kitchen of your own on your campus, which will be the main focus of this info session. And we're going to learn all about the benefits of having one at your school. And then we'll conclude the session with some ample time for Q&A, and also give you the next steps to move forward with the process. This session will be helpful regardless if you're a student, staff, administrator, dining services representative, or even a community member. So hopefully anyone on the call is going to be able to have a better grasp on how to really begin this process of starting a campus kitchen. All right, so I think it's important to really understand the big picture about the Campus Kitchen Project and what we're really about. So we're going to touch a little bit on each of the basic components of a campus kitchen and how it really came to be. So I think it's always really good to set some context. So we're going to start first with the issue that led to the idea and the creation of the Campus Kitchen Project over 12 years ago. And clearly that issue is hunger and waste in America. So food insecurity and hunger, it's clearly a national need, national issue, something that you all probably see in your individual communities maybe every day. And although it might look very different depending on where you are, might have different faces, it's undoubtedly probably something that your community faces. And you probably have heard some similar facts that are on the screen right now. You can see 1 in 6 Americans, 1 in 4 children might not know where their next meal is coming from. That is up to nearly 50 million Americans who are living in food insecure households. But yet at the very same time, the flip side of that coin, that 40% of the food in the United States is wasted each year. It's coming from different streams of waste, but that waste adds up to a loss of over $165 billion each year in wasted resources. So some other factors involved that are in play are academic institutions and the idea of service. So across the country today, we have a generation of young adults that are the most engaged in service that have ever existed. Where about 90% of incoming college freshmen have been engaged in some sort of community service prior to college, and they clearly understand its importance and impact. At the same time, about 90% of campuses include something about civic engagement or service as part of their mission statement. So we know that college students like yourselves want to give back, and we know that schools want this service aspect to be a part of the student experience. But the students want their service to be meaningful, but also convenient, and they really want to see the impact of the work they do. So yet another factor to kind of continue to set the context are that these students that we were talking about, they reside in over 4,000 colleges and universities that are spread across the country. And nearly every single one of these have these four things in them. One being an on-campus kitchen that's not utilized at all hours or underutilized. There's various quantities of surplus food that are coming from the dining halls or on campus that is going to waste. There's an active and engaged student body that's really interested in not only service but also getting real life and marketable skills that will help them not only during college but also after they graduate. And then lastly, each of these schools resides in a community, and that community is the one that understands their needs better than anyone else. So let's put together all of these things, the national food security need with the active and engaged students and these untapped resources on all of our campuses. And within that mix of factors is really where the idea of the Campus Kitchen Project was born. So meeting these needs by utilizing excess clearly just makes sense, and it's what the Campus Kitchen Project what we found we have really the most effective and impactful way to make this happen on your campus. So those who founded CKP, they decided, let's link all of these pieces together. So student leaders can recover food that would otherwise have gone to waste and put university and college dining halls to use after hours to feed those that are struggling with food insecurity in their communities. So in addition to creating this really kind of lean operating model, we're also teaching students to see wasted resources as sustainable solutions to their community issues. All right, so let's take a look a little bit at what a campus kitchen does each day. So currently, across the country at 34 schools, dining services designates unused kitchen space either on or near campus that can be shared or used during off hours. So last year alone, almost 6,000 student volunteers contributed nearly 80,000 hours of service at their campus kitchens. So students can contribute to the program in a variety of capacities, whether that be from creating and delivering meals as volunteers, or to really guiding the program as a member of the leadership team. So those students take the recovered food from dining halls, food banks, grocery stores, even farmers markets and farms, and store it in their on-campus kitchens. So last year alone, our schools recovered over 750,000 pounds of food that would have otherwise gone to waste or been thrown away. So then with that food that's recovered, students take part in cooking shifts either 2 to 5 times per week and prepare or repackage the donated food into balanced meals. And last year alone, our schools were able to prepare over 280,000 meals that are then transported and served to community partners and individuals in need in their community, whether that be in shelters, after-school programs, low-income housing complexes. And last year alone, again, our campus kitchens across the network fed over 9,000 clients at 160 different agencies, and that added over $750,000 in economic value that was put back into the communities to which we serve. So you can see that in just the numbers, the impact we're making each day is fairly immense. But here at the Campus Kitchens Project, we're not just about meals, we're not just about numbers. We always have the saying that we're never going to feed our way out of hunger, and food is really not the only answer to this problem. So here at CKP, we encourage all of our students to really think about using their food as a tool to enter into deeper relationships with their clients that they're serving on a weekly or daily basis. So there are underlying root causes of hunger that might have nothing to do with actually being hungry, and these need to be addressed along with meeting the immediate needs that our students are doing with the food that they serve. So by starting with the meals, students are able to really get their foot in the door and really start to foster some of these relationships with their clients, that they can then eventually they can learn about some of the other needs that their clients might have. And once these needs have been identified by the clients themselves, the students can help them create these really community-focused programs that can meet those needs. They're tailored specifically to their community and the clients that they serve, with having their client input and collaboration at every step of the way. So some examples of these kind of programs, these beyond meal programs that our campus kitchens do, and definitely not limited to this list, but here are some of the typical ones. Many of our students create and conduct classes, nutrition education classes, whether it be for youth, for families, and seniors alike. They focus on specific health needs and concerns. They can focus on SNAP outreach, so getting individuals eligible for food benefits. They can work at farmers markets, teaching healthy recipes, nutrition classes, cooking demos. We even have created our own youth nutrition education curriculum, so that any campus kitchen can really, if they're serving those type of clients, can initiate this kind of program with their clients to really take it one step further and get them to kind of see the bigger picture and deeper issues that are affecting those that they work with. Many of our campus kitchens also work with community gardens or have their own community garden. So they might choose to create one on or off campus, and that not only provides extra fresh produce for their meals, but also provides a great platform for engagement with their community partners. They can bring in youth or senior clients to work in the garden and teach them about where food comes from and a lot of other issues that a lot of their clients might not have exposure to. So it's a great platform for education and continued education within the nutrition education kind of realm. We also have many campus kitchens that work with economic empowerment. We have some that do and lead culinary job training programs where they're getting individuals of their community certified, ServSafe certified, so they can work in kitchens or in food safety, so they can enter into the restaurant industry. We also have campus kitchens that have brought farmers markets or CSA drop-off sites to their campus, which creates more selling points for local farmers. We also have campus kitchens that work with food hubs to expand the consumer market for local farmers. These are all things that really affect the community and at large, far more than just providing food. And then this last category kind of is a catch-all, but any sort of community development that really fosters the community that they serve. So whether that be working with seniors, doing senior wellness classes, we have some campus kitchens that do senior yoga. Their clients wanted to be more active, and so that's the program that they thought would be best to utilize the students' assets and also meet their clients' needs. We have a lot of intergenerational service projects. We have after-school programs for youth, mentoring, backpack programs for students for meals on the weekends, and even large community dinners that focus on specific populations like homeless or veterans, where the students and clients alike can sit down together and share a meal. So since a lot of our schools have been doing these kinds of programs for over a decade, we have tons of helpful toolkits and information for new schools that want to start these types of programs at their school once they've identified that need through their clients. All right. So lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the third focus of the, excuse me, of the Campus Kitchens project, which is really student leadership. It's been a really amazing byproduct of our program that has turned into a focus of the work that we do. And since students like yourselves that are, in essence, running their own nonprofit when they run their Campus Kitchen, they're given high levels of responsibility, which really translates into tangible, work-relatable skills that line up perfectly with not only what they're doing in the classroom, but also what employers are looking for. So through research that we've done within our network, we found 9 out of 10 students that held leadership roles within their Campus Kitchen learned how to start or manage a nonprofit initiative, and the skills of starting that project were seen, through a multitude of different lenses, different capacities. And these students, even if they don't go into work at a nonprofit, they're still able to take many of the skills that they've gained through working with their Campus Kitchen on with them into their careers. You can see the stats on the screen now, but I think it's great. It shows almost half of those that were surveyed said that working with the Campus Kitchen even changed their entire career path. And everyone who took the survey and was participating in this research said that they're more likely to address food insecurity in their community after graduation, regardless of what career field they might go into. So I think those are some really powerful some stats and information on just how impactful these kinds of programs are for students who work with them on campus. All right, so now we're going to take a shift to talk about how to actually bring this kind of program to your school. We've learned a little bit about it and what we do. Let's go through the process of what it really takes to get this going on your campus. As you can see on the screen, there are 4 major groups of support that need to be fostered on each campus to make a really effective and sustainable Campus Kitchen. Those are school support, student support, dining support, and community support. Each of these groups really work in tandem to ensure that the Campus Kitchen has the greatest impact on both the community and the university that's involved. And so without one, the system really doesn't work and is not as strong. But that being said, the way each group supports the Campus Kitchen can vary greatly depending on your specific campus and your specific community. So it's very flexible. So let's go ahead and take a look at each group, and then after I explain kind of how that group supports the Campus Kitchen, I'll give you a next step which you can take in the process on your campus, so you can get started right away. These again are just the first steps of steps that we have created in our Campus Kitchen Planner, which is an online tool that you can receive anytime you want it ready to start this process, and it provides you with a step-by-step guide that really leads you through the process of bringing your Campus Kitchen to your school. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later and explain a little bit more of how that tool works. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in to school support. So clearly having the support of your school, well, it might not actually seem like the most important factor. It makes creating and sustaining your Campus Kitchen much easier. So each Campus Kitchen at the very least needs what we call a sponsoring office, which is a place on campus basically for the Campus Kitchen to call home. It usually falls under the Office of Service Learning, Civic Engagement, perhaps campus ministry, but can also fall under an academic department, social work, nutrition, culinary arts, kind of anywhere that, again, the Campus Kitchen can have a home base for some stability and sustainability of the program. Some schools start their program through a class, might use a professor as a sponsor. And again, this is going to be the first group you really want to reach out to get that general interest and buy-in on campus. They again can help you connect with other students, other programs, and staff that might be interested in starting the project with you. Aside from having a sponsoring office, fostering a variety of other staff and administrative support on campus can only be to your benefit. So talking with your president, your provost, dean of students, getting any of them on board just with the idea can really help move the process along that much more quickly. It's also a really good place just to start if you have a good relationship with any higher administration. Getting to talk with them about your idea and kind of allowing them to help you connect with those below can be really great. As you begin to get some general interest and get people on board on campus, you keep in mind that others supporting you besides your sponsoring office can be a part of what a lot of Campus Kitchens call their advisory board, which can help just serve as a body for guidance and support once you get your Campus Kitchen established. We can talk a little bit about that more in a little bit. So just a general next step is to approach if you don't really know where to start, I would say approach your Office of Service or Service Learning or any comparable office and talk to them about the potential idea of starting this service program, this Campus Kitchen at your school. We have some great one-pagers and how to really pitch the idea that all located on our planner online, which highlights a lot of frequently asked questions, provides some good answers to those, and some talking points to really guide your pitch. Also provides a lot of example letters and feasibility plans and a lot of different documents and resources which can help you all together figure out if doing a Campus Kitchen is going to be feasible and going to work at your school. All right, so let's move right along to student support. So clearly students are really at the core of every Campus Kitchen, and they hold a variety of roles within each. So a Campus Kitchen must first have a really strong leadership team that's consisting of anywhere from 5 to 10 students. And this leadership team is not only important once your kitchen is up and operating, but also crucial during this planning period. So a leadership team really guides the Campus Kitchen and provides structure and support on campus. And the leadership team can come from a class, like I mentioned earlier, a department, an existing club or organization, or just be recruited from the general student body. Students also must foster a pretty large volunteer base for each Campus Kitchen, which provides the physical manpower to run the food recovery shifts, the cooking shifts, and the delivery shifts each week. The leadership team, students, can foster that support on campus and get students involved in the various day-to-day operations. Students have the responsibility to lead those shifts as well as take on further responsibility by even chairing a position on the leadership team, such as fundraising, special events, volunteer management, community outreach, whatever those might be. The students are really going to be at the forefront of leading those positions. While we're talking about leadership, let's take a quick look at some of the ways that leadership is done at different Campus Kitchens. So each program is going to have a coordinator to help with the program reporting and oversight and just be the leader of the program. The coordinator's position is usually determined by the size of the program, and can result in these 3 different kinds of leadership which you see on the screen. None of which is really better than the other, just different ways of doing it. So we have some Campus Kitchens that are fully student-run. That means they are student coordinators, but they might have their sponsoring office advisor to help with a few things, but the students are the ones basically running the show and running and really guiding the program as they see fit. We also have a lot of schools that have some part-time staff, so whether that be a staff from your sponsoring office or AmeriCorps Vista or maybe a grad assistant who spends part of their time helping the Campus Kitchen, especially in terms of guidance and support. They may not be doing a lot of the actual shifts within the kitchen, but helping the leadership team and other students guide their program. And then lastly, we have some Campus Kitchens that usually have been around a little bit longer, and the school really sees the value of the program and ends up institutionalizing an actual position that they pay through their university to guide the Campus Kitchen. Clearly, this lets them, take a lot greater strides often with their program and allows them to grow more quickly. But regardless of the path that they take with leadership, there's always going to be a leadership team of students. Even if they do have a full-time staff person, they're still going to have the leadership team in those different positions, running the shifts and running the different aspects of the Campus Kitchen. All right, so while we're talking a little bit about kind of daily operations and how students are really involved, I thought it would be important to see an example schedule, just what a typical week of a typical Campus Kitchen might be. So there's a lot of moving parts, including coordinating with your food donors, dining halls, students, and then even your clients. So again, on screen you see just an example schedule of a typical week. So you notice that the shifts in green are the food recovery shifts, and those can either be on campus, if you're recovering food from dining halls, or also off campus, where you might be recovering food from a local restaurant or a supermarket or maybe a farmer's market. Those usually require about 2 to 5 volunteers, and then they can recover that food and then bring that back to where you're storing food at your on-campus kitchen. Then next you'll notice the cooking shifts in red. Those cooking shifts usually take, again, 2 to 10 volunteers, depending on the amount of meals that you're making. And again, you can see that you can either actually be scratch cooking meals, where you're actually taking raw product and creating meals from that, or it might just be repurposing or repackaging prepared products you're receiving that's already been cooked in your dining hall. So those, and it might be delivered to individuals in individual containers, or it might be delivered, as a congregate-style meal where you take it to an agency and they are serving it where they're at. And then next, you'll notice the delivery shifts, which again can be delivered. It could be right after, which you'll notice, the following day after a cooking shift, which then you'd be delivering your meals cold to your individual or your group clients. Or it also might happen right after your cooking shift, where you're going to be taking those meals directly from the kitchen hot to usually a congregate-style agency where you're going to serve those meals. And then many times our Campus Kitchens then will also do some sort of programming or activities with their clients with the delivery if it's time allows or if that's what their clients want. So then really the next step in regards to student support is to reach out to just student groups or students in general to start creating this leadership team. Like I said before, the leadership team is really going to be crucial during the planning period as well, so you can really divvy out the different tasks that need to be completed among the different students so that this process can go as smoothly and as quickly as possible. Again, reaching out to a club or a class or even getting a club formed on campus to be the Campus Kitchen can also open up a lot of doors in terms of fundraising and support. All right, so next we are going to talk about dining support. Dining support is clearly another crucial component of the Campus Kitchen process. Generally, dining services provides a few key things for each Campus Kitchen, though there are always exceptions, and we always work with you in your unique situations. But usually a Campus Kitchen dining service will provide their idle kitchen space on campus, not only for the preparation of the meals, but also for storage, using freezer space, dry storage space, cooler space. They're also going to provide donated leftover food from their meal service, either to be used as is or to be combined with other produce and products that you receive to be prepared into meals. And oftentimes dining staff provides, they kind of act as a kitchen safety support when students need guidance or have questions when using their equipment. And they also usually provide or donate a lot of their hard materials and disposables, such as pots and pans and aprons and gloves, but those are all things that can be worked out individually in each campus. Dining service support can sometimes be one of the more difficult components due just to the fact that many dining service staff members have a lot of initial concerns about donation liability and kitchen safety hazards. But at the Campus Kitchens Project, we have information and tools that you can use to really help your pitch and help you pitch the idea to dining staff and really breach any of those concerns that they might have. So I'll talk a little bit about just general liability issues that always tend to come up when bringing up the idea of Campus Kitchens with your dining service staff. It's important to remember that, first and foremost, that there is the Good Samaritan Food Donation Act, which is national legislation that's been in place since 1996 that protects all those, including universities, who donate leftover food in good faith to needy individuals in their community. Even beyond just that legislation, the Campus Kitchen Project take measures far beyond industry standards and to encourage the proper safety and sanitation of the operations that students are taking part in. So we've created our own kitchen safety paperwork system using the HACCP, which stands for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points, which is basically a system that tracks food from in the kitchen through the cooking process and out to clients to allow for safe time and temperature procedures to make sure that those are being taken. It's these kind of systems that really ensure that we're handling our food in quote-unquote good faith, as the Good Samaritan Act indicates. So Campus Kitchens also require that student leaders leading the cooking shifts be ServSafe certified. And that's the same kind of kitchen safety certification that any and all restaurant and dining service staff members must get to work in those commercial kitchens. It's a simple online exam, which I can explain, which is explained fully within the planner. But that's just another step to be taken so that we're really making sure that those that are leading the volunteers and leading the students, they know fully how to properly handle and temp food that they're working with, so they can, at the end, their clients can be as safe as possible when consuming the meals that we provide. And last but not least, it's just good to note that We've been doing this as a network for over a decade and have served over 2 million meals and have never had a single liability issue regarding client food safety. And it's due to the fact that we provide these tools and provide this, and require this kind of education and knowledge to be the standard of all of our campus kitchens. So a next step in regards to dining service support is to reach out to your dining service director or the manager. You might want to use your sponsoring office or other administrative or staff within your university to facilitate this connection. And I would definitely recommend going into this meeting with your sponsoring office or with another staff member or at least a group and pitching the idea of the campus kitchen to the general manager. Of course, they might have some questions about the liability, but hopefully we can provide you with a lot of great initial resources to answer some of those questions that they might have. All right, let's move on to the final component, which is community support. So Campus Kitchens clearly prides itself on being a community-focused program. Every Campus Kitchen fully assesses their community and identifies all the existing assets that they can utilize, as well as the existing needs in their community before they even get started. So your Campus Kitchen is going to need to identify and pick your community partners to deliver your meals to, which you talked about briefly when we were looking at the operations plan. So looking at organizations your university might already partner with is a great place to start. So called piggybacking off other service programs or campus partnerships can bring really fruitful relationships. So you might have a big brother, big sister program that works with an after-school program already, so you can approach them to ask if they might want after-school meals or after-school snacks. That's up to, in addition to the services that your students are already providing. But I think it's always important to remember that the relationship between the Campus Kitchen and the community partner should really be as reciprocal as possible, where each group is really benefiting from each other in different ways. So when looking for potential partners to serve your meals to, really keep in mind this mutually beneficial idea. And also remember that the community voice really should be at the forefront of each decision that your Campus Kitchen makes. So ideally, there should be a community partner, on your advisory board, and just having that voice on your team, so you don't really lose focus of what the importance of why you're doing what you're doing. All right. So then the next step, again, the first step really should be in this whole process is to assess your community needs and your community assets, and really pinpoint those unmet needs and the gaps in services. So we have some great community assessment tools within the planner that your school can use to facilitate this and guide the process if you're not sure how to really go forward with this. All right, so let's talk about a few more logistics. Talk a little bit about the physical costs and benefits of having a campus kitchen. So the startup cost for a typical campus kitchen can be very low, especially when materials and supplies can be shared and are donated in kind from either partners or dining services. So most campus kitchens, like I said before, get disposables and their hard materials like the pots and pans donated, where they can be shared with their dining services. So the costs are, for startup costs can be fairly minimal, and just might be in investing in some insulated bags for transporting your meals. When you initially are talking to dining services about sharing materials, you can also see if you can use them to order your disposables and your other kind of other kind of staple items through their large orders to get their discounts. When looking at ongoing costs, they can also be small, but include just basic office and event costs. Some kitchens do buy a small amount of food to ensure that their meals are balanced, just by supplementing for when their donations really don't suffice to create a fully balanced meal. Now many schools are using even their own gardens and farms to supplement a lot of this product, that they can also get food donated from outside donors and like food drives and can drives and things. One thing to note, though, is that CKP does require an annual affiliate fee to be associated and be a part of our network of $1,200. This $1,200 provides, and we'll go into this a little bit more in a bit, each school with numerous benefits, including a host of resources and tools and a ton of different grant opportunities that are offered through our network, exclusively only to our affiliates that we provide to them. It provides many different helpful resources to assist in raising necessary funds or helping find new partners or working with their clients. But like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. But I definitely, as we show the cost, I also want to show the value of what you're receiving for being a part of the Campus Kitchens project. the good news is you have support, ongoing support from us from the very beginning, not only through working to plan your kitchen, but also once you've launched your Campus Kitchen, you'll have a full-time program manager from our staff that is there to assist in any way that you see fit, especially in your early years of learning to really navigate and figure out how to work, how your Campus Kitchen will work at your campus and within your community. It's great for any kind of guidance, any kind of program growth, or any kind of program development. We offer also monthly network trainings and webinars on various topics that typical Campus Kitchens would like to learn more about. We also have connections in terms of financial and in-kind resources. We have connections to national and local grant opportunities and have ongoing grant competitions, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in depth in a second, offered to our network to help with startup funds or even getting funds to start new programs or develop and grow new programs. We also can leverage other national relationships and provide grant matches, internship opportunities, even one-time funding opportunities, and also provide a great online platform for personal fundraising for events. So lots of different ways to help your Campus Kitchen sustain itself financially. We also provide a lot of student development and best practices. So we provide a yearly boot camp and a yearly conference for all of our affiliate Campus Kitchens, where they can learn kind of all the best practices and tips and get all the up-to-date resources and tools that every Campus Kitchen will need to be successful for that year. We've also created an entire online library of tools and all of our resources to access anytime. And lastly, just in terms of technology and marketing support, you receive email, website, social media support, and lots of national and local publicity. So it's important to remember that since we've been around for so long, we've really been able to provide you with a time-tested and proven effective system to create, a process to create and really grow your Campus Kitchen program. So our expertise will allow you to really move quickly and easily through any issues or challenges that might arise as you're going through this process, and you'll be able to call upon our knowledge and our know-how of this, or the knowledge and know-how of our entire network of schools across the country. They're doing exactly what you'll be doing soon and working for that exact same mission. So I mentioned a little bit about this grant competition. It's a brand new thing that we've been doing as a network, and we will continue to do to help those just like you that are planning Campus Kitchens. You'll see on the screen now we just finished our latest video grant competition, where we had 7 schools submit videos to show the need in their community and why they felt like they needed a Campus Kitchen, and then we gave it up to the public and spent a little over a week where the public got to vote on the videos that they of their choice and that they thought the schools that would have the greatest impact, and then we gave grants to the top 5 videos. Here's just you can see, again, this is just a screenshot of some of the videos. So each of those top 5 schools were able to receive startup funds for us so that they could make their program into a reality. So it's not, the funds definitely aren't necessary to start the Campus Kitchen, and in fact, most, all of those, even the ones that didn't receive funds, were still able to launch their kitchens. But this is a great way, if funding is something you're concerned with, a great way, resource that we provide to help schools really get over that initial hump of starting their Campus Kitchen. All right, so let's lastly talk about just exactly how the launch process works. So now you know all about what we do, you know the basics, you know what kind of support to foster, but basically there's a 3-step process to guide your school in becoming a Campus Kitchen. Again, the entire process varies in time depending on your school, but a good kind of estimate is about a semester to get everything up off the ground and launching. So first, we're going to look at, to get started, it's very simple. All you do is fill out this very simple and easy getting started form. It just kind of asks for some general contact information, and then what that does is it gives you access to your Campus Kitchen Planner, which this is where you're going to spend most of the time of the process, and we talked a little bit about this already. It's our online tool that highlights the 4 categories that we spoke about earlier in terms of fostering support, and goes through a really simple and user-friendly checklist of tasks that need to be completed to ensure that you're really ready to bring a Campus Kitchen to your school. Let's just jump quickly to look at what this Campus Kitchen Planner looks like. You'll see here, this is the main page that every campus, and you'll have your own individualized page that really will track your individualized process, and you can invite your entire team to the page and assign them different projects and check things off physically as you get them done. So this, you see the entire process. Each one of those white cards is a task that needs to be completed. And once you open up any of those cards, it then gives a brief description, has a checklist of things you need to complete, and you can write comments that can either ask questions to me or leave comments for your team. So you can see, that it says, either read about a different, it might just be reading about a certain kind of information, or it might be completing a certain kind of form. But you'll see that all of those resources, as you see on this next page, are found in the resource drawer, which provides you, again, with just background information, maybe a form you need to fill out. It might also, be some sort of report, or just, again, it has a variety of information. Anything and everything that you might need is found in this resource drawer, right in your own planner. And then you see, once you click on a certain resource, you can read a brief description and either click to download the form, or download the worksheet, or download the information that you might need at that time. So that's the basic. And again, once you fill out a Getting Started form, you can get access to your own personalized planner, invite the rest of your team. And this, again, is really your home base for your Campus Kitchen planning process. And it's something that you can use to communicate and ask questions, and also really just track your progress as you go through the process. Let's go right back. And then the final thing, once you've completed the Campus Kitchen planner, we've created it in a way that once you've completed all those tasks, we can pretty much be rest assured that you're ready to launch your Campus Kitchen. So we'll have a quick readiness check call with your team to make sure to go over any final logistics. Will be very quickly, and then you'll submit a contract through us to launch your Campus Kitchen. And once that is approved through your university and through us, we will be able to set up a on-campus site visit. We will send one of our staff members to your campus to do a celebration launch event, where we will help make sure everything is set up correctly on campus, go through the first couple shifts with you to make sure that everything is in place, and have any kind of other celebratory events on campus that you'd like to really, again, celebrate the accomplishment of bringing the Campus Kitchen to your school. All right, so that is pretty much everything you would need to know initially about the Campus Kitchen project and how to get one started. Again, like I said, if you'd like to continue to pursue this and this is something you're interested in learning more about, I'm always more than happy to answer questions via email or over the phone to be able to continue the conversation. If you'd like to get access to a planner and kind of get started and see what that entails, if you go to the website on the screen here, it's campuskitchens.org/startakitchen, and then you can fill out the Getting Started form, and you will then receive access to your planner. All right. I'm going to conclude the formal part of the presentation now, but I'd like to thank you so much for taking your time to listen for this last hour. But if anyone has any questions, I'd love to open up the floor now for Q&A. But again, also remember, if you have specific questions, you can email me or give me a call at any time. Thanks.